We will continue the lesson today. Yeah, last week we discussed the relation between 90 minus theta and theta, 90 plus theta and theta, 270 minus theta and theta, 270 plus theta and theta. Those relations last week we discussed. I'll remind them people again. This is our plane of quadrants, positive x-axis, positive y-axis, negative x-axis, negative y-axis. This is origin. No, you know, when the OP is on the positive x-axis, the angle is 0. When it is on the y-axis, angle 90, negative x-axis, angle 180, and this is 270. When this OP completes the first round, people, angle is 360, right? Now, there we said one relationship. When we form an angle by using the angles on the y-axis, the possible angles on the y-axis are people 90 and 270. Taking this 90 and this 270 by adding angle or subtracting angle, and here also by adding angle or subtracting angle, we can form people 4 different angles, no? 90 minus theta, 90 plus theta, 270 minus theta, 270 plus theta. For any of these angles, we said people, if we find sine of any of these angles, people, we said this answer is converted into cos. If we find cos, then the answer is coming in terms of sine. If we find tan of these angles, we said what answer is coming in terms of cot. That thing we said. And in addition to that, people, we said we need to determine the positive or negative sign of this coming answer. To determine that, people, I said you this way. In the first quadrant, you know, we said what all 3 ratios positive. Second quadrant only sine positive. Third quadrant only tan positive. Fourth quadrant only cos positive. We said this. Then, for example, if we consider sine 270 minus theta, since the first angle is on the y-axis, this sine ratio converts to cos. And the right hand side angle, we said people, always the left hand side second angle, left hand side, this second angle is the right hand side angle. Now on the right hand side, the sine we decide like this. For the angle 270 minus theta, the position of OP going to be people 270 means this. 270 minus theta means an angle theta before 270. Then OP is in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, only tan is positive. But here we have sine. So people, this is the ratio. This is the trigonometric ratio we have to consider in deciding the sign to the right hand side. Quadrant is 3, third quadrant. In the third quadrant, sign is people negative because only tan is positive. So therefore, you have to put minus sign here. Like that, we can remember all these 12 results. Right. People, now another set of results we have. The මේටික ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. මේ angles 4යි අපිට හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. We can form only 4 different angles. අපිට angles 4යි ළමයි හදාගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. කොහමද අපි angles 4 හදාගන්නේ? y axis එක උඩ තියෙන angle දෙක මතක් තියාගන්න. 90 270. Remember people, the angles on the y axis 90 270. Then how do we form that two angles? Subtract angle, add angle. Subtract angle, add angle. Angle එකක් අඩු කරන්න, angle එකක් add කරන්න. එහෙම තමයි අපි angle 4 හදාගන්නේ. ඒතර මේ angle 4 සඳහා Sine තිබුණොත් cos වලට යනවා. For these 4 angles, people, if you have sine, answer coming in terms of cos. If you have cos, answer coming in terms of sine. If you have tan, answer coming in terms of cot. Like that, remember the relations. Now, people, now today we consider the first angle is on the x-axis. Right? What are the angles on the x-axis? 0 and 180 and 360. There are 3 angles. Right? Now, by adding and subtracting, if we find angles, let's see what are the possible angles in this case we can form. Right? Now, first angle, if I take 0, right? What are the possible angles? 0 minus theta. Subtracting theta, we get one angle. 0 minus theta is people minus theta. And 0 plus theta, next one. It is theta. Okay? Right. When OP is on the positive x-axis, the very first angle is people 0. Once it comes to negative x-axis, the angle is 180. Then subtracting theta, what do you get? 180 minus theta. Adding theta, 180 plus theta. People, what is the next angle? Once this OP completes the first round, angle 360. Right, using the angle 360, what are the 2 angles we can form? 360 minus theta, 360 plus theta. Okay? හරි නේද ළමයි? දැන් ඔන්න බලන්න x axis එක උඩ තියෙන angles මත තියාගන්න. 0, 180, 360. Right? Subtract කරලයි add කරලයි angle දෙකක් හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? We can form 2 angles. One is by subtracting, other one by adding. These are the 6 angles that we can form. People, in this way, when we form angles, if your first angle is on the x-axis, the rule, remember, the rule is this ratio, the ratio does not change. The answer also coming in the same ratio. This ratio doesn't change. If it is sine, answer coming in terms of sine. If it is cos, answer coming in terms of cos. If it is tan, answer coming in terms of tan. Understand? Now, the sign, plus or minus sign of the answer, we decide as we did in the earlier case. ළමයි දකුණු පැත්තට එන sign එක අපි කලින් decide කරපු විදිහටම තමයි decide කරන්නේ. එච්චරයි වෙනස. Right, for example, see here, sine 180 minus theta. First angle is on the x-axis, negative x-axis, simply x-axis. The sine ratio won't change. It is sine. This angle, the second angle is always coming with the right hand side, sine theta. This angle is where? In the second quadrant. Second quadrant. In the second quadrant, only sign is positive. Therefore, plus sign we have to put, because in the second quadrant, sign takes positive sign. Next one, we'll take tan 360 minus theta. First angle is on the x-axis. Tan ratio doesn't change. Tan theta. Where is this angle, people? Fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, only cos is positive. But here we have tan negative. So therefore, we put minus sign to the right hand side. Then people, here really, this angle, here 2, here another 2. Because this 0 plus theta means theta, right? First quadrant. Then people, for each angle, we can write 3 ratios. Then for these 5 angles, we can write 15 results. Then another 15 results you have to remember, right? Okay. So now, last week people, we discussed 12 results. What are the 4 angles? On the y-axis, no? 90 minus theta, 90 plus theta. Negative y-axis, 270 minus theta, 270 plus theta. 4 angles we form like that. For those angles, sine goes to cos, cos goes to sine, tan goes to cot. Correct, no? Now what are the angles? On the x-axis, right? When you extend your hands like this, you can now very easily remember the angles on the x-axis. What is the first angle? First x-axis 0. Once this OP coming here, negative x-axis 180. Okay, and once this OP complete the first round, 360. 0, 180, 360. Now, how do we form the angle? Adding and subtracting. Then you can easily say the different angles. Those angles are these, right? Then remember, if any angle contains an angle which is on the x-axis, 0, 180, 360. After that, another angle added or subtracted. That means like this. Okay. Then the ratio doesn't change. If the sine ratio, answer also sine. If the ratio is cos, answer is cos. If the ratio is tan, answer is tan. And in the answer, you have to determine the sign, plus or minus sign. How do you check it? Very easy, people. First, consider the angle. Now, for example, if I take this 360 minus theta angle, suppose we are given its people sine. Okay. First angle is on the x-axis, no? Right? Then this ratio doesn't change. Sine, this angle coming. Now, where is this angle? 360 minus theta. 360 minus theta in the fourth quadrant. This angle is in the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, sine. In the fourth quadrant, only cos is positive, no? Fourth quadrant, only cos is positive, but here we have sine. In the fourth quadrant, sine is negative. So therefore, that minus sign we have to put before this on the right hand side. That's all. Here on the lamai. Api me bracket teki mulinti and angle එක x axis එක උඩ නම් මේ ratio එකම අර පැත්ත ලියනවා. දැන් දකුණු පැත්තට එන sin එක decide කරන්නේ හරි ලේසි. මේ angle එක තියෙන quadrant එක හොයාගන්න. ඒ quadrant එකේදී මෙන්න මේ trigonometric ratio එක ගන්න sin එක decide කරන්න. ඒ sin එක දකුණු පැත්තට දාන්න. එච්චරයි. Understand, people? Okay, right. So then, for this angle, 3 ratios sin cos tan we can write. For this angle, 3 ratios sin cos tan, and so on we can write. Then there are, since there are 5 different angles, 15 results, we can develop. Right? Then we'll write a brief sentence there. Thereafter, I'll give you time to write them all. Right now? Then we'll write like this, people. Write down. Write down. Similarly, we can obtain the following results. The following results. Right, people. First, I am going to take 180 minus theta angle. Second quadrant, no? This is in second quadrant, right? For this angle, people, we write sine ratio, cos ratio, tan. Right. Next angle is 180 plus theta. Sine ratio, cos ratio, tan ratio. Take this. Next angle, people, what? 360 minus theta. Right. Sine ratio, cos ratio, and tan ratio. And next one, 360 plus theta. 360 plus theta. Right. Sine ratio, cos ratio, tan ratio. This way we get. Next angle is, people, what? Next angle is, using the very first angle, 0, we can form two angles. Adding theta and subtracting theta. Once we add theta towards 0, we get theta. That means in the first quadrant, angle, no? So that is, we know. Only case we have to consider subtracting theta from 0. What do you get? 0 minus theta is minus theta, no? For this angle, now we have to write. What is that? Minus theta. This minus theta is, of course, formed how, people? 0 minus theta, no? Yeah. Then 0 minus theta is minus theta. So therefore, sine minus theta, cos minus theta, tan minus theta. Right. These are the three possible angles. Understood? Right. So then, how many results you can draw? Altogether, people, 15 results are there. Right. Can you write all these results, the answers of each, by carefully understanding the method I told you? Only thing is this, people, we know, since all these first angles are on the x-axis, this ratio doesn't change. The same, by the same ratio only we get the answer. මේ left hand side එකේ bracket එක ASCII මුලින්ම තියෙන angle එක x axis එක උඩ නම් මේ left hand side එක ratio එකෙන්ම තමයි answer එකක් දෙන්නේ. එතකොට answer එකට එන angle එක මේ left hand side එකේ bracket එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන දෙවෙනි angle එක. හරි. After that, people, you have to determine the sign, plus or minus sign, to the right hand side. That is very easy. How? You have to observe the left hand side angle and decide for this angle in what quadrant that OP lies. In that quadrant, find the sign of this trigonometric ratio, plus or minus. that sign put to the right hand side. That's all. හරිද ළමයි? වම් පැත්තේ මුල් angle එක x axis එක උඩ නම් වම් පැත්තේ ratio එකකින්ම තමයි answer එක එන්නේ. දකුණු පැත්තට එන answer එකේ angle එක එන්නේ left hand side එකේ bracket එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන දෙවෙනි angle එක. right hand side එකේ ratio එක අපි right hand side එකේ sin එක අපි decide කරන්නේ කොහොමද ළමයි? left hand side එකේ මේ angle එක තියෙන quadrant එක decide කරන්න. ඒ quadrant එකේ OP තියෙනකොට මේ ratio එකට එම quadrant එකේ තියෙන sin එක මොකද්ද බලන්න. plus ද minus ද කියලා. ඒ sin එක දකුණු පැත්තට දාන්න. එච්චරයි. ඉතින් ළමයි උතන 15ක් එනවා. 15 there we get people. And last week we had 12. Now 27. People, now can you of course write out of that 27 any? Yeah, I think it's possible when you practice this 2-3 times. So now 27 results you can very easily remember after doing this now. Okay, that's why I told you don't by heart. Don't by heart. Now by keeping this in your mind and having the idea on the y-axis angle ratio changes, on the x-axis angle ratio does not change, and in the first quadrant all positive, second quadrant sin positive, third quadrant tan positive, fourth quadrant cos positive. Those stories, if you can remember people, this 27 results mean really nothing. Understood people, right? So then take 2-3 minutes and write this all. After that I am going to write it. Okay, right, start people now. Okay, right people, then we'll write. Since we know the same ratio coming to right hand side, I'm going to first write that ratio and this angle this way: sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. Right, now where is this angle? 180 minus theta. An angle theta before 180. 180 angle is people this, no? An angle theta before 180 means this second quadrant. This angle is in the second quadrant. OP is in the second quadrant. Yeah, in the second quadrant only the sine ratio is positive. This is the sine angle, second quadrant sine positive, second quadrant cos negative, second quadrant tan negative. Then sin 180 minus theta plus sin theta, cos 180 minus theta minus cos theta, tan 180 minus theta people minus tan theta. Okay, here sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. 180 plus theta. 180 is this people. 180 plus theta means third quadrant. Third quadrant. Angle is in third quadrant. People, in the third quadrant, you know only tan is positive. Then sin is third quadrant, sin is negative. Negative. Third quadrant cos also negative, because in third quadrant only tan is positive. Third quadrant tan positive. Understood? Right. Next one. Here sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. 360 minus theta. That means an angle theta before 360. තමයි 360 minus theta angle එක කියන්නේ 360 වෙන්න theta angle එකක් මදි. If it is 360, ළමයි මේක 360 නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ මේ? මේක 360 නම් OP හරියට මෙතෙන් එනවා. 360 වලට theta අඩුවෙන් තමයි ඉන්නේ. පොඩ්ඩක් පස්සට එනවා. Fourth quadrant. The angle is in the fourth quadrant. This angle is in the fourth quadrant. You know, fourth quadrant only cos is positive. Fourth quadrant, angle is fourth quadrant sin negative. Fourth quadrant cos positive. Fourth quadrant, tan, negative. Correct, no, people? Right. We'll come to this. First angle is on the x-axis. Therefore, by the same trigonometric ratios, we get the answer. Right? Okay. Now, 360 plus theta. Yeah. Here, 90, 180, 270, 360. 360 plus theta means again in the first quadrant. Right? Yeah. First quadrant. This angle is in the first quadrant. In the first quadrant, people, all are positive. So therefore, you have to put plus signs. Right now? Right now? Yeah. Now, we'll come to these people. We said that this minus theta angle is forming subtracting theta from 0. නේද ළමයි? අපි කිව්වේ minus theta angle එක හැදෙන්නේ කොහොමද? 0 angle එකෙන් theta angle එක subtract වෙලා. එතකොට first angle එක තියෙන x axis එක උඩනේ. එහෙමනම් ratio එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right. Then when we take here sin theta should come, cos theta should come, tan theta should come. Right. This angle minus theta, people, why is the angle minus theta? We know the angle will be minus when OP rotate clockwise, starting from positive x-axis. Starting from positive x-axis, if it rotates this way, OP is in the fourth quadrant. OP is on the fourth quadrant. Then this angle is in the fourth quadrant. People, in the fourth quadrant, only cos is positive. Fourth quadrant, sine ratio, negative, no? Put negative here. Fourth quadrant, cos ratio, positive. Fourth quadrant, tan ratio, negative. This is how people, we remember this. I think you can now very easily remember this 15 results without any huge effort. You can very easily remember these results. They are very important, people, this trigonometry. Okay. Now you have to remember these all results. And I am coming again to these people. Very carefully, people, paying more attention. Look at these results: sine minus theta, cos minus theta, tan minus theta. Right? Okay. Sine minus theta is minus sine theta, no? Cos minus theta is cos theta. Tan minus theta is minus tan theta. People, remember here, when we have minus sign with the angle and the cos ratio, we can write the same thing without this minus sign like this. That means cos minus angle is equal to, without that minus sign, cos that angle. Right? So when we have the minus sign with the angle, without this minus sign, we can write the same thing. Cos minus theta is cos theta. Next one, people, these two. People, these two results say us, when you very carefully compare the left hand side and right hand side, you can see, people, this minus sign has come out. That's what here we have. Here also, tan minus theta is minus tan theta. What is that, people? This minus sign has come out. හරිද ළමයි? එහෙනම් මල් තියාගන්න. Sine ratio එකකිනුයි tan ratio එකනොයි angle එකත් එක්ක minus sign හිටියොත් ඒ minus sign එළියට ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ විදිහට. but cos එක minus sin එකක් එක angle තිබ්බොත් minus sign එක ගන්න බෑ. ගත්තොත් වැරදි. තේරුණාද? Without minus sign you can write that. Right people? Okay? If you have minus signs with the angle having sin or tan ratio, that minus sign available with this angle can be taken out. That's what this first result and the third result say. But it is not true for the cos ratio available. Cos minus theta is equal to cos theta. You can't take this minus sign out. Without this minus sign, you can write it. Understand? Remember those 15 results. People now, those 15 results and last week 12 results, 27 results. Now this 27 results we have to remember anyhow. People now you have a nice story to remember these all results. Therefore, practice this 2-3 times and keep remember these all results. They are very important. You will find more conveniences in the future when you work questions relating to these results. හරිද ළමයි? ඉදිරියේදී ඕගොල්ලන්ට ගොඩාක් පහසුකමක් දැනි මේ results හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. දැන් මතක තියාගන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ට අමාරු නෑනේ. ඇයි? කතාවක් තියෙනවනේ මේක මතක තියාගන්න. ඉතින් වෙන වෙන වල්පල් කතා වලින් මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ නෑ. මේ quadrant එකේ මන් දුන්න properties ටිකම ඔළුවේ තියාගෙන මතක තියාගන්න. maths වලටම අදාළ story එකක් නේ තියෙන්නේ. Right. එනිසා ඒක අය practice කරන්න. Right? Okay. So that is the end of that part. Okay? Right. Now people, we said that we obtain 28 trigonometric formulae. Now we are going to take them. හරිද ළමයි? තව තියෙනවා trigonometric formula 28ක් අපිට ගන්න. 28යි that 28 and here how many results people? 27. 28 and 27. 55 results. You have to remember. Out of that 55 results people, 27 okay already. 28 formulae you have to remember. Then you might say, how can we remember this all? People, don't go to remember. First, analyze this, study this, look at them, understand the method we are going to obtain them. Remember that story of obtaining that formula. That's all. Then automatically you can remember them. හරිද ළමයි? මෙවුවා මේ අමුතුවෙන් කටපාඩම් කරන්න යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මේ ෆෝමියුලා ගන්න විදිය හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ ඒක නැවත නැවත ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරලා ඒකෙන්ම මතක තියාගන්න. Right. In order to take people this 28 formulae, I take only 2 formulae. Using that 2 formulae only, the next 26 formulae we take. Understood? ළමයි අපි ෆෝමියුලා දෙකයි ගන්න ඉස්සරෝම. ඒ දෙකෙන් තමයි ඊටු 26ම ගන්නෙ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් නම් ඒ මුල් දෙක ගන්න විදිහ මතක තියාගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ ඊටු 26ම ලේසියෙන්ම ගන්න හැටි අපි කරනකොට තේරෙයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට. එක දවස් දෙකක් එක දිගට අරගෙන ඒ ෆෝමියුලාස් 28ම ඔයගොල්ලෝ 3-4 සැරයක් අනියම ගන්න. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඔය ටික හොඳට මතක හිටිනවා. Right people? We draw only 2 formulae. Using that 2 formulae only, the rest 26 we take. Practicing this 2-3 times people, at the end of this, you can easily remember this all. That's also really people nothing. Right? මේව නැතුව ළමයි A-level maths කරන්න බෑ. ළමයි නම් ගොඩක් ඉතින් අර සර් ඉක්මනට ඉවර කරනවා සිලබස් එක මාස 6න් ඉවර කරනවා කියලා පන්ති වලට යනවා ළමයි. සිලබස් එක මම ළමයි මාස 6න් නෙවෙයි මාස 2කිනුත් ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ නැහැ කොච්චර depth එකකට මේ lessons වල යන්න ඕනද කියලා. fail වෙන්න උගන්නන්න ඕන කෙනෙකුට පුළුවන් නේ ළමයි. නේද? fail වෙන්න උගන්නන්න ඕනේ නිකන් ඔය මොන හරි කී හිටියනම් හරි පන්ති වල. එහෙම පන්ති තමයි ළමයි තෝරගන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඕගොල්ලෝ හරියට ඉගෙනගෙන යන්න. ඕගොල්ලන්ට එතකොට කොහොමවත් ආය ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන තැනක් එන්නේ නැහැ. Right. Now we go to next part. Yeah. The next part, people, obtaining the trigonometric formulae. Before obtaining that trigonometric formulae, we need another simple thing here. That is this. Right, people, now when we consider a right angle triangle, right angle triangle mean the triangle which has 90-degree angle in it. 90-degree angle in it. Right. Now I am going to consider this way. Right angle triangle. Here 90. I'll take this as theta. I name this angle as ABC. And I take this hypotenuse as L. This length is L. This length is L. Okay. Now taking this way, the right angle triangle, I'm going to write sin theta ratio. Sin theta ratio for the right angle triangle, you know, people. Opposite side divided by the hypotenuse, AC. But this AC is L. I am going to put L here. Now I can use a cross multiplication to this end. It is nothing but now L sin theta equals BC. That means, people, BC equals L sin theta. BC equals L sin theta. Next one. We can write cos theta. Cos theta is adjacent side AB divided by the hypotenuse AC. AC is L. Then using cross multiplication, we get, people, L cos theta is equal to AB. L cos theta equals AB mean, people, AB equals L cos theta. AB equals L cos theta. Okay, I think up to here you can very easily understand. People, by this result, what we try to learn is this. When we have this way right angle triangle with the hypotenuse given and one angle, using this hypotenuse length and this angle available in the right angle triangle, the length of the opposite side BC here, L hypotenuse times sine ratio of this angle is the opposite side of this right angle triangle, L sin theta. So therefore, remember, in the right angle triangle, opposite side is written how, people? L sin theta. L is the hypotenuse, the length of the hypotenuse. Sine ratio of that angle. People, adjacent side, this one here, L cos theta, hypotenuse times cos ratio of this angle. Understood? Hari. එන ළමයි ඔන්න ඔක ඊළඟ තියෙන කොටස. මොකද්ද? right angle triangle එකක hypotenuse එකේ length එක use කරලා triangle එකේ තව එක angle එකක් use කරලා ඊටු sides දෙක ලියන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමද ලියන්නේ? angle එකට opposite තියෙන කෙනා. එයාගේ length එක මොකද්ද? hypotenuse එකේ length එක multiplied by sine ratio of the angle. Angle length එක ළඟින් ඉන්න කෙනා, adjacent side. What is that, people? Hypotenuse times cos of that angle, cos theta. Then another way we can remember, towards the angle the length is coming by L cos theta towards the angle. Towards the angle, the length. Towards the angle means this, no? This is the angle. Towards the angle, L cos theta. Opposite to the angle, L sin theta. Remember like that. So now for example, suppose people like this, we have right angle triangle. This angle is alpha, people. Here 90. Suppose this is A. Then can somebody tell me the lengths of this and this in terms of this A and this alpha? People, this length mean it is opposite toward this angle alpha, no? Then opposite side, how to take? By sine, no? A sine alpha. This is A sine alpha. Towards the angle alpha, this length is A cos alpha. This is how we write. Understood? So then write, people, next subheading, right? Write down the sides, write down the heading, the sides. The sides of a right angled triangle. Right angled triangle. Right angle triangle. Using hypotenuse and an angle of the triangle. Using hypotenuse and angle of the triangle. Okay. Right. People, first draw this diagram. Make adin lamai. Right. You see, people, right? And take this example next. Okay, now using these people, I'm going to do one example. That example, people, will be very important to obtain that first two formulae in trigonometry. Right. Okay, then shall I erase these people? Have you finished this doing? Right. Take down these two. right? Yeah. So then I'm going to erase this. Okay, now people. Okay. Now I'm going to take this diagram. This is a right angle triangle. It's a right angle triangle. Let this angle be alpha. Here 90. Its hypotenuse is this. I take this as A, B, and this is C. Right. This AC having as a side, right? We draw another right angle triangle like this. This is D. Suppose this angle is beta. Okay. Now I drop a perpendicular from this D on this AB. This is perpendicular means its angle is 90. This point is suppose E. Now we drop another perpendicular from this C on this DE. Like this, suppose this is F. This is F. Understood? Right. Now we are given the length of this AD hypotenuse. This length is given. AD length as L. AD length is L. Okay, AD length is L. Now my question is, people, you have to find all the lengths of all the sides available in this diagram in terms of simple L, alpha, and beta. Understood? All the lengths of the sides available in this diagram. Now you have to find in terms of L, alpha angle, and beta angle. That is the question, right? Come to the people diagram first, right? And then write one sentence like this. First draw the diagram there. Here this angle is 90. Yeah? Find all the sides in terms of L, alpha, and beta. L, alpha, and beta. Understood? Right. First draw the diagram, people. Right. Okay. Right now, write down, find all the sides in terms of L, alpha, and beta. Yeah. Find all the sides in terms of L, alpha, and beta. Right. Okay. Now let's see how to take that. First thing is this. Here this is 90. Therefore, this is also 90. This angle and this angle equal. They are corresponding angles. When the corresponding angles are equal, this side and this side are parallel. හරිද ළමයි නේද? මේ angles දෙක equal වෙනවා. ඒවා corresponding angles. When corresponding angles are equal, these lines become parallel. This line and this line become parallel. If this line and this line become parallel, people, this angle is equal to this angle. Why? Alternate angles. Alternate angles. So if this is alpha, this is also alpha. Right now, people? But this whole angle is what, people? Whole angle is 90. Of that 90, alpha available. Then what should be this part, people? 90 minus alpha. නේද ළමයි? අපි මුළු angle එක 90 බව දන්නවා. මෙතන alpha තියෙනවා නම් ඉතිරි කොටස 90න් ඉතිරි කොටස මෙතන තියෙන්න ඕනේ. 90 minus alpha. Okay? But here we have 90. This is now 90 minus alpha. Since here we have 90, this angle and this angle, when you add, their sum should be 90. Then if this is 90 minus alpha and plus this should be 90, then people, this angle should be alpha, no? Correct, no? Then what can you say? If this angle is alpha, put that alpha here, minus alpha plus alpha will cancel off, we get sum as 90. Now I think you can understand that very easily. This is alpha equal to this alpha because these two are parallel. The whole angle here 90, but here we have alpha, therefore this is 90 minus alpha. If this is 90 minus alpha, this should be alpha. Understood? Right. Now very easy. People, now tell me, when you pay your attention to this triangle ACD, it's a right angle triangle. In this ACD right angle triangle, people, AD is the hypotenuse, this angle is beta. Then you can see opposite side, this CD. You can write how, people? L, how to write opposite side? Sine beta, L sine beta. We said what opposite side is coming by sine, no? Adjacent side, this AC. What is this AC, people? This AC is what? L towards the angle cos. L cos beta. Understood? Right. Again, pay your attention to the triangle CDF. In that triangle, this is the hypotenuse. This angle is alpha. Then people, how to write the opposite side? L sine beta is the hypotenuse. Opposite side is obtained by hypotenuse times sine of this angle. L sine beta, L sine beta, sine alpha. L sine beta, sine alpha. Right. Now, people, this DF, what's this DF? This is the hypotenuse, this is the angle alpha, DF is the adjacent side. How to write, people, adjacent side using the hypotenuse and the angle? Hypotenuse multiplied by cos of that angle. This is now L sine beta cos alpha. L sine beta cos alpha. Understood? Right. Now we will pay your attention to this triangle ABC. That's also a right angle triangle. Right angle triangle. Okay. Its hypotenuse is this L cos beta. Right? Hypotenuse is L cos beta. Then you can now write, people, in the triangle ABC, this hypotenuse is L cos beta, opposite to this angle alpha. The side is this BC. Then what is this BC, people? Hypotenuse multiplied by, how to obtain the opposite side? Sine of this angle, sine alpha. Then hypotenuse is L cos beta, opposite side is obtained sine alpha. hypotenuse multiplied by sine of this, L cos beta into sine alpha. Right. And this whole AB, people, whole AB, it is what? It is in the triangle ABC, the adjacent side. Then hypotenuse is L cos beta, angle is alpha, towards the angle, the adjacent side is coming by hypotenuse times cos of that angle, L cos beta cos alpha. L cos beta cos alpha. Right? Okay. Now, people, what is this EB? Yes, EB. You know this B, C, F, E. Here 90, here 90, here 90. Therefore, definitely this must be 90. Therefore, B, C, F, E is a rectangle. Of a rectangle, people, opposite sides are equal. So therefore, this length and this length being equal. This length we have found L sine beta sine alpha. So therefore, this also L sine beta sine alpha. Okay. And also, people, this length and this length being equal. What is this? L cos beta sine alpha. So therefore, this is L cos beta sine alpha. Right? This length is again this. Right. People, can somebody tell me how to write this DE height? DE height. How to write this DE height? DE height. Yeah, can someone tell me? Yeah, that can easily be found like this, people. Well, once you pay your attention to the triangle AED, ADE. Okay. What is this whole angle? Whole angle is, people, alpha plus beta. And this AED triangle is a right angle triangle here 90. Then this DE side is the opposite side of this angle alpha plus beta. Then using this hypotenuse, people, how to write this opposite side? Hypotenuse multiplied by the sine of this angle. L sine what, people? Alpha plus beta. And how to write this AE then? AE, we can write, people, by AED triangle. This is the hypotenuse L. This angle is alpha plus beta. This required side is the adjacent side. Then L times cos of this angle. L cos alpha plus beta. හරිනේද ළමයි? ඔන්න අපි ඔය ඩයග්‍රෑම් එකේ ඔක්කොම සයිඩ්ස් වල ලෙන්ස් හොයාගත්තා. right? ගන්න ළමයි. දැන් මේක ඔයගොල්ලෝ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න ඕනේ. ගෙදරදී දෙසරයක් තුන්සරයක් මේක කරන්න. right? okay, right, people, now first take down this. With the help of this diagram only, people, now we are going to obtain the first two trigonometric formulae. Understood? Right? Yeah. Then soon after this, we write, people, another subheading. What is the subheading? Trigonometric formulae. Trigonometric formulae. Right. After this, people, write down the heading as trigonometric formulae. It's a subheading, write down as this way, capital A dash capital B, AB formulae. Formulae is the plural of formula. Right. AB formulae. Right, people. I am going to use this diagram. Right. In this diagram, the angle alpha I am going to take as capital A, and the angle beta I am going to take as capital B. Let we'll write like this. In the above diagram, let alpha equals A and beta equals capital B. Beta equals capital B. Okay. Right, people. Now, for this alpha, I am going to put capital A. For this beta, capital B angle to get the AB angles, AB formula. Then you can write by the diagram. By the diagram. Right. People, now, first thing is this. I am going to write this DE height. This DE height, you can write, people, in this way. DE height is equal to DF plus FE. DF plus FE. Correct, no, people, here? DF is this, FE is this. Right. People, DE here. L sine L plus beta, but alpha is A, beta is B. Then you can write DE. What is this DE? L sine here. Alpha is now A, beta is B. A plus B equals DF. DF is this. It is L sine beta cos alpha. Beta is B, alpha is A. L sine B. L sine B cos A. F E, it is this L cos beta sine alpha. L cos B sine A plus L cos B sine A. Right, no? We get this. We can divide both sides by simple L. Then what happens? This side, this term, right hand side, these two terms, we divide by simple L. Then what happens? When you divide this by L, this L and that divisor will cancel off. When you divide this by L, this and this will cancel off. Then to the left hand side, we get, people, the formula sine A plus B. Okay. This addition, I write this term first and this one secondly. And when you write like that, people, this product also we interchange. Cos B sine A, we interchange as sine A cos B. Sine A cos B plus. This order also we can interchange. cos A sin B. You know, people, this product interchange can be done because 2 into 3 is equal to 3 into 2. No, people, this is the very first formula in trigonometry, number 1. This formula is called as the sin A plus B formula. Sin A plus B formula. Right, people? Sin A plus B formula, we write like this. People, you might think this sin A plus B to write this way. Sin A plus sin B. This is completely wrong. By removing the bracket using that idea, you can't write this, people. හරිද ළමයි? ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතයි මෙහෙම තියෙද්දි sin මෙයාගෙන් ගන්නවා sin මෙයාගෙන් අරන් මෙහෙම ලියන්න කියලා. එහෙම ලියන්න බෑ, වැරදි. එහෙනම් කොහොමද ලියන්නේ? මේ තියෙන්නේ A plus B sin. What do you get? First sin, then cos. Sin A cos B plus sin coming to the right hand side. The left hand side, the sin is available on the right hand side. And cos A sin B. That is how we write. That is the very first formula. Another one more we take, people. That is this. This AE length we write in 2 ways. First one is AE. Other way of writing this AE length is, people, from A to B, from whole length, we subtract, people. From this whole length, AB, we subtract this part. This whole length is this. From this whole length, we remove this, then we get this. Then AE length we can write as AB minus BE. Then we get, people, in the same way, cos A plus B formula. That 2 formula only, people, we take. Using that 2 only, the rest 26 we take. Okay, then we can write. We write, people. Also we can write AE. We can write AB minus BE. AB minus BE. What is AB? L cos beta cos alpha. What is AE? L cos alpha plus beta. Right. L cos alpha is A, beta is B. What is AB? L cos beta cos alpha. Beta is B, alpha is A. L cos B cos A. L cos B cos A minus BE, L sin B sin A. Okay, people. Now, as before, we can divide both sides by L. Then this L, and this L you can cancel down. This cos B cos A product we can interchange as cos A cos B. Sin B sin A product we can interchange as sin A sin B. So then we get cos A plus B. Cos A plus B is therefore equal to cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. This is the, people, number 2. This is the number 2. These 2 only, people, we are supposed to take by using this diagram. The rest 26 we obtain by using these 2. Understood? Right. Okay, now take down, people, that 2. Right. Now, this all by this diagram we take. Right, so then we can write sin A plus B, sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Number 1. Cos A plus B. Cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. This is number 2. Right. Under this AB formula, people, there are another 4 more. Then we'll see how to take the rest 4 more. Right. Right. Up to here, I think you are okay. Now I wrote down this here. All right. So then this also I am going to erase. මේකත් මම මකනවා ළමයි. හරි? දැන් ඉතින් ඔය දෙක ගන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මම මේ 28 ෆෝමියුලේත් ඕගොල්ලන්ට මතක තියාගන්න එච්චර මහන්සියක් නැතුව පුළුවන් කියලා කිව්වනේ. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන්නේ අර ඩයග්‍රෑම් එකේ මෙන්න මේ දෙන්න ගන්න ක්‍රමය මතක තියාගන්න විතරයි. ඒක පුළුවන් නම් ළමයි මේ දෙකෙන් ඉතුරු 26 අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර මෙහෙම කරපුවාම ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේක මේ කතාවක් වගේ මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන් ළමයි. ඔළුවට බරක් නැහැ. right? එහෙම නැතුව දැන් මේ ෆෝමියුලා ටික මම කෙලිම බෝඩ් එකේ ලිව්වනම් මේ ටික ලියලා මතක තියාගන්න කියලා ඕගොල්ලන්ට දැන් මේක මේ කොහෙන්ද ආවේ කියලා යන ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඇයි එහෙම ලියන්නේ? කොහොමද ලියන්නේ? කොහෙන්ද ඒවා එන්නේ? ඔය ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න එනවනේ. දැන් මොකවත් නැහැ නේ ළමයි. ඕක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ solid knowledge කියලා. ඕන වෙලාවක ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේ ෆෝමියුලා ටික අමතක වුණොත් එහෙම හදිසියට අග්ගල මේ මුල් දෙක ගන්න හැටි මතක තියාගන්න ඕන ළමයි. ඒක තමයි අපි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා කියන්නේ. ඒ දෙක මතක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ දෙක ඕකේ නම් ඊටු 26 ම ඕකේ. right? ඕගොල්ලන්ට කොයි වෙලාවක හරි මතක් වුණොත් වැඩිම වුණොත් විනාඩි 3ක් යයි. ඕක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරොත් එimhe ෆෝමියුලා 28 ම ලියා ගන්න. දැන් හිතේ ඔය සර් කිව්වට අපිට බැරි වෙයි අපි පොඩි ළමයින්නේ. නෑ ඒ දැන්නේ. මම උගන් මේක කරලා උනාට පස්සේ බලන්නකෝ. දෙතුන් සැරයක් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරලා. නිකන් හිතුවොත් නම් බෑ ළමයි. නිකන් හිතුවොත් මොනවද ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. නිකන් ඉඳලා බෑ මහන්සි වෙන්න ඕනේ. හරියට මහන්සි වුණොත් මේ ටික හරිම ලේසියි. right. Right. Now people will take the rest 4 formulae. Right. Then to take the third one, people, this is what I do. This is what I do. This all formula people will be using in working out rest questions in the tutorial. Okay? Right. Now, what I do next is this. In number 1, we replace this B by minus B. In number 1 and number 2, both will write. In number 1 and number 2. Number 1 and number 2, we replace this B angle by minus B. That means instead of B, we put minus B. B වෙනුවට minus B දානවා. දාලා බලමු. By 1, what do you get people? Sin A plus, for this B, we put minus B. On the right hand side, what? Sin A cos minus B plus cos A sin minus B. Here you can simplify people. Plus and minus make minus. Here we get A minus B. Sin A minus B. Okay. People, what is this cos minus B? Yeah, we can write without this minus sign, no? Today we learned cos minus theta is equal to cos theta. I told you, whenever the minus sign available with the angle with cos ratio, we said we can write that one without minus sign. නේද ළමයි? අපි කියවනේ cos ratio එකත් එක්ක තියෙන angle එකේ minus sign එකක් තිබුණොත් minus නතු ලියන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. එහෙනම් මේක අපිට ලියන්න පුළුවන් cos B කියලා. sin A cos B. People, I told you, if there is minus sign, with the angle and with the sine ratio or tan ratio. Can remember I told you this minus sign you can take before. මතකද ළමයි? angle එකත් එක්ක minus sign එකක් තියෙනවා නම් sine ratio එක හරි tan ratio එක හරි එක්ක මම කියවා නේද මේ minus sign එක ඊට ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. එහෙනම් මේ minus sign එක this minus sign people I can take before in between cos and sine, but still though we take this minus sign before this sine, still this cos and this part as a product. That minus sign coming here, I can bring where here people. Then here we have plus, here we have minus. Then plus and minus, when you multiply, we get minus. Now no longer this minus sign available. Then this is cos A sine B. Cos A sine B. People, this is number 3. Third formula. What is that? Sine A minus B formula. What is sine A minus B formula? Sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. Third formula, number 3. Sine A minus B. Number 3. People like that. By number 2, using this, replacing its B by minus B, give me the next formula, fourth one. By number 2, take that people. Number 2 එකේ B වෙනුවට minus B දාලා cos A minus B ට formula එකක් ගන්න ළමයි. Cos A plus minus B equals cos A cos minus B minus sin A sin minus B. As before, this cos minus B we can write as cos B. This minus sign you can take where here minus minus plus, and this plus and minus make people minus. Then we get cos A minus B. Cos A minus B is cos A. This is cos B. This minus sign we can take where here minus minus plus sin A sin B. This is number 4 people. Number 4. Then it is cos A minus B. Cos A minus B is cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. Number 4. 4 formula we obtain people. Now the 2 more formulae available in A, B formula set. Okay. Now this is what we do next to take the next 2 formulae under this A, B formula. Right. Up to here, I think you can very clearly understand. Now I am going to divide. First formula I am going to divide by second formula. This is the first formula, this is the second formula. When we divide this way, 2 formulae, left hand sides we have to separately divide, right hand side we have to separately divide. Okay people, and then what do you get? Sin A plus B, we have divided by cos A plus B is now equal to sin A cos B plus cos A sin B divided by this cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. We divide like this. People, now here what do you have? Sine angle divided by cos same angle. That is sine divided by cos. Sine divided by cos is people tan with the angle A plus B. Then what do you get to the left hand side? Tan A plus B. හරිද ළමයි? අපි කිව්වා නේද? sin cos වලින් divide කළොත් tan එනවා කියලා. හැබැයි එහෙම ලියන්න මේ angles දෙක සමාන වෙලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. People, we know sin divided by cos is tan. That's true. Sin divided by cos can be written as tan, people, whenever this angle and this angle are the same. Otherwise, sin divided by cos, nobody can write as tan. Understood? So therefore, since in this case sin and this angle and this angle being the same, we can write this as tan a plus b. Tan a plus b. Now people, on the right hand side, this is the fraction. Of this fraction, all these four terms we divide by cos A, cos B product. You know, in a fraction, both the numerator and denominator, we can divide by the same value. You know, that fraction, one change that we used to take some answers in the trigonometric identities last week we did. Using that fact, people, these two terms as the numerator as well as these two terms as the denominator, we divide by cos A, cos B. Understood? So then let's see what happens. Right? This is now sin A cos B, we divide by cos A, cos B. And here cos A sin B, we divide by cos A, cos B. And here cos A, cos B, we divide by cos A, cos B minus sin A, sin B, we divide by cos A, cos B. We get like this. දැන් ළමයි බලන්න මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. right hand side එකේ උඩ යට දෙකම අපි cos A, cos B කින් divide කළා. දැන් මොකද වෙන්නේ බලන්නකෝ. මේවා cos B to cos B we can cancel down, people. This cos A and this cos A you can cancel down. This cos A with this cos A, this cos B with this cos B, we get 1 by 1. That is 1 by 1 is 1. Here this sin A divided by cos A and this sin B divided by cos B we take separately. Yeah, sin A divided by cos A is tan A. Here I am talking sin A divided by cos A, tan A. Sin B divided by cos B, sin divided by cos is tan, no? Then sin B divided by cos B is tan B. Here sin A by cos A, tan A, sin B by cos B, tan B. Here 1 by 1 is 1 minus tan A, tan B. We get formula for people tan A plus B. So what is the tan A plus B formula therefore? Tan A plus B. Right, people? Sin A divided by cos A is tan A. Tan A plus sin B by cos B, tan B. Divided by 1 minus. Okay, this is 1 now. Sin A by cos A is tan A. Sin B by cos B is tan B. Tan A, tan B. This is number 5. This is the tan A plus B formula. People, after learning this, don't think to even to write this tan A plus B as tan A plus tan B. This is wrong. If we can write like this, no point of having this kind of formula, no, people. Tan A plus B is expanded by using this way. Tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A tan B. That is how we, people, expand that. Right. Then another one more formula under this AB formula, people. It is the tan A minus B. To take this tan A minus B formula, what we do is, in this number 5, this angle capital B, we replace by minus capital B. We replace it by minus capital B, right? We'll come to that now. in number 5. In number 5, we replace b by minus b. Right, take number 6 people by doing so. ළමයි ගන්න number 6 අංක 6 ගන්න. කොහමද ගන්න අපි? මේ පස්වෙනි කෙනාගේ b කියන කෙනා minus b ගෙන් අයින් කරන්න. Right, then what do you get there? Tan a plus minus b equals tan a plus tan minus b, because we said we substitute for this b minus b, divided by 1 minus tan a tan minus b. Plus and minus make minus tan a minus b. Right, people, you know, tan minus angle, people, we said this minus sign you can take out. Then once this minus sign come in here, plus and minus minus. Tan a minus tan b divided by. Here also this minus sign you can take here. That minus and this minus make plus. What do you get? 1 plus tan a tan b. This is number 6. And then this solve the AB formula. Tan a minus b equals tan a minus tan b divided by 1 plus tan a tan b. This is number 6. අන්න ළමයි අපිට number 6 formula එක ආවා. Right. දැන් බලන්න අපි අර මුලින්ම ගත්ත formula දෙකෙන් තමයි මේ දක්වා ගත්තේ. ඉතින් එච්චර තමයි ගන්නෙ. ඊට පස්සේ ගන්න ටික ඔක්කොම අර formulas දෙකෙන් තමයි ගන්නෙ ළමයි. Right. Now we come to another set of formulae called as people product formulae. Product formulae. Right? දෙවෙනි formula වර්ගයට අපි කියනවා ළමයි product formulae කියලා. Product formulae. Right? Product formulae. Let's see what are these product formulae. Right. I think you could understand up to here. Okay, no? Right. Next set of formulae we are going to obtain now. They are called as product formulae. They are called as product formulae. Write down the next subheading as people product formulae. Product formulae, right? Well, we have 4 product formulae. We'll take one by one. This is how we obtain the first one. We add this number 1 and number 3. This number 1 formula and number 3 formula we add together. All right. 1 plus 3. කොහොමද ළමයි අපි formula දෙකක් add කරන්නේ? Right? How do we add 2 formula, people? The left hand side should be added together. Then the right hand side should be added together. Now, when we add the left hand side, what do you get? Sin A plus B come in. Plus sin what, people? A minus B. Right? Now, when you add the right hand side, it is this, no? This plus this. People, you can see sin A cos B here, sin A cos B here. Sin A cos B, we add with this sin A cos B. It's like, people, here, if you take this as x, this is x, this is x. X plus x, 2x. Then sin A cos B plus sin A cos B means, people, what? 2 times sine A cos B. And what about this and this term, people? If you take this as y, here we have minus y. Y minus y, 0. That 2 will cancel off. Then what do you get here? Sine A cos B plus sine A cos B is what? 2 sine A cos B. 2 sine A cos B. 2 sine A cos B. Right, people? This formula, people, we write the other way. This equals this mean, people, this equals this, right? 2 sine A cos B is equal to this. Sine A plus B plus sine A minus B. Right. So this is the, people, number 7. Right. 2 sine A cos B. Sine A plus B plus sine A minus B. This is number 7. Okay, now, people, we take 1 minus 3. Take 1 minus 3 and take the number 8. Take number 8. 1 minus 3. This minus this. Sine A plus B minus sine A minus B. Sine A plus B minus sine A minus B. See what happened right hand side? Then this minus this. What happens? If you take this as x, x minus 6, these 2 will cancel off. When you take this as y, people, y, since we subtract, we have to put, now this y is this term, right? We subtract, no, minus. What we subtract? With this minus sign, this. We assumed for cos A sin B. Why no? Therefore, this also y. But since here we have minus sign, it is minus y. Then we can write minus y here. Minus minus plus y and y, 2y. Then what do you get to the right hand side, people? 2 times cos A sin B. Am I correct? හරිද ළමයි? අපි මෙයාගෙන් මෙයා subtract කරන්න ඕනේ. මෙයා අපි y කියලා ගත්තොත් ඔන්න y ලිව්වා. එයාගෙන් subtract කරනවා කවුද ළමයි? මේ minus sign එකත් එක්ක මෙයාගෙන් subtract කරන්නේ. ඒතකොට මෙයාට අපි y කිව්වේ minus y. Minus minus plus 2y. Y is what, people? Cos A sin B, no? Then this is 2 cos A sin B. 2 cos A sin B. So therefore, this one is equal to this, means this equals this, right? Therefore, you can write 2 cos A sin B. 2 cos A sin B is equal to sin A plus B minus sin A minus B. This is number 8, people. Number 8. 2 cos A sin B. Two cos A sin B, people, sin A plus B minus sin A minus B. Number 8. Right. Now, people, take next one this way. Add 2 and 4. 2 plus 4, take 2 plus 4. Take 2 plus 4. Take 2 plus 4, people. And take that one, 2 plus 4. Yes? 2 plus 4, what do you get? Cos A plus B plus cos A minus B in the left hand side. This and this will be added, giving 2 cos A cos B. This minus sin A sin B and this plus sin A sin B, when you add, people, that 2 will cancel off. Understood? Right. So then we get cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. Cos A plus B plus cos A minus B will be equal to, people, what? This 2 will cancel off. This and this, no. Cos A cos B cos A cos B. When we add 2 cos A cos B coming. 2 cos A, cos B coming out. So then this equals, this means I can write, therefore 2 cos A cos B is equal to cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. This is number 9. It's cos A plus B plus cos A minus B. Because this is number 9. Number 9. Under this product formula, the last one, number 10. 10th one is obtained, people, like this. We take 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2. Take the 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2. Take 4 minus 2. Then we get the 10th formula, formula number 10. Four minus 2, people. What do you get? Cos A minus B minus cos A plus B. To the left hand side. Then what happens? This minus this. If you take this cos A cos B product as, people, x. Here x, here also x. X minus x cancel off. Take this as y. Y minus minus y, no? Because this we subtract, no, from this. If you take this as y, because of we subtract y minus what, people? Here minus sign we have, right? What do you get? Minus y. And then what do you get here? 2y. What is 2y? 2 sin A sin B. 2 sin A sin B. And then how to write this now, people? 2 sin A sin B, we write in the left hand side. 2 sin A into sin B is equal to cos A minus B minus cos A plus B. This is number 10. This is the 2 sin A sin B. To sin B is there for people, cos A minus B minus cos A plus B. Number 10. Right. Am I tawa තියෙනවා අපිට 20? tawa තියෙනවා 18 නේද? Another 18 more people. Another 18 more. Right. 10 out of 18, 28 we took. Okay, no? Right. You want a break, people? Shall we take a 5 minutes break? Yeah, people? Right. Okay. Now we obtain, people, product formula. Now what we do is this. We obtain another set of formula called as, people, CD formulae. CD formulae, right? Then we'll write, people, next subheading as CD formulae, capital C dash capital D formulae. Right. Write down, people, the heading as CD formulae. Right. People, in obtaining this CD formulae, For the CD formula also, there are four formulae. There are four formulae, right? Okay. Now, the CD formulae we obtain like this. We use this 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can see in the 7, 8, 9, and 10, A plus B, A minus B, A plus B, A minus B, A plus B, A minus B. That A plus B we use as C, A minus B we use as D. Using that, we obtain this CD formula, right? Okay, right. You can now write like this. Let A plus B equals C and A minus B equals D. Okay. For the sum of A and B, we use single letter capital C, people. A minus B, we use a single letter capital D. People, once we take this A plus B as C and A minus B as D, we can solve these two equations. These equations are, people, you can assume these two equations as simultaneous equations, right? When you add these two, let this be number 1 and number 2. I'll take this as A, equation A, and this as equation B. Now you can write A plus B. A plus B. We add A and B. What do you get then? This B and this minus B, we can cancel down now once we add them up. A and A make 2A equals C plus D. Then A is equal to C plus D divided by 2. And we subtract A and B. A minus B. A minus C will cancel off. B minus B. Correct, no, people? අපි ළමයි මෙයාගේ මෙයා subtract කරනකොට B minus coming because of we subtract B second one from the first one, no, this minus coming, but what we need to subtract is minus B. Then it is B minus B, B this minus and minus plus B plus B, 2B come in there. Okay, then this is 2B, it is equal to C minus D, B is equal to C minus D by 2. Okay, now what we do is this, people, these substitutions, A plus B equals C and A minus B equals D, these substitutions we put where, people, in 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we take another form of formulae. They are called as CD formulae. Understood? All right. First come up to this end, then we'll write another sentence. Right. Now you can write. Let us substitute this in the formulae 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let us substitute this in the formulae 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, people, remember, when you substitute them, for this A plus B we put C, A minus B we put D, and we subject this. Make lamai api submit kala tama liyanne, submit karna. Ek mum patte dila liyana api. Then we can write by 7. By 7, we will have to write. This is now C, sin C plus sin D equals 2 sin, what is A? C plus D by 2. What is B? C minus D by 2. Then this one we write in the left, this one we write on the right. Okay, people, why? The reason is this. This equals, this means, people, this equals this, no. X equals Y means Y equals X. Like that. Okay. By 7, what do you get? Sin C plus sin D equals what, people? 2 sin, what is A? C plus D by 2. And, people, cos b c minus b by 2. Cos b means c minus b by 2. People, this is number 11 formula. For number 11. Sin c plus sin d formula is that. Sin c plus sin d formula is that. Right. By 8, people take. By 8. What do you get? Sin c minus sin d coming, no? Sin c minus sin d. Sin c minus sin d equals what, people? 2 cos, what is a? C plus d by 2, b c minus d by 2. Then 2 cos c plus d by 2 times, and people what? Sin b c minus d by 2. Number 12. Right. Take people by 9. By 9. Cos c plus cos d coming, no? Cos c plus cos d. What do you get, people? 2 cos a means what? C plus d by 2. B means c minus d by 2. 2 cos c plus d by 2 and cos c minus d by 2. Number 13. C minus d by 2. By number 10. Right now? By number 10 now. What do you get? This is d now. Minus this is c. Cos d minus cos c coming. Right now? Right. Shall I erase this now? By number 10. Cos d minus cos c equals 2 sin a c plus d by 2. Sin b c minus d by 2. But people, the standard form of keeping this formula is not this. What we do is, people, we multiply both sides of this by minus sign. We know both sides of an equation we can multiply by minus sign. The equation will not be affected by multiplying like that. That means, in other words, equation does not change. Equation දෙපැත්තේ ඕනම අගයකින් අපිට multiply කරන්න පුළුවන්. වෙනසක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් මේ ෆෝමියුලා එකේ ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් ෆෝම් එක ඕක නෙවෙයි ළමයි. ඕක cos c minus cos d විදිහට හදලා තමයි මතක තියාගන්නේ. right? එතකොට අපි minus sign වල multiply කරොත් මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? This will be minus cos d. With this minus sign and this minus sign, they make plus, no? This is plus cos c coming. Minus cos d here, plus cos c here. Then this plus cos c we write first. Cos c minus cos d we get. Understand? Cos c minus cos d. Cos c minus cos d we get. Then people, the right hand side also we have to multiply by minus sign. Okay. Then this 2o, this term o, this term. One of that 3 terms we should multiply by minus sign, not all by minus sign. Understood, people? When you need to multiply this way, people, suppose 5 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 6 we have. This we have to multiply by minus sign. People, do we multiply all these 5 and 2 and 6 by this minus sign, and do we write like this? No, this is wrong. Only one term of these 3 enough to multiply by this minus sign. Not all by minus sign we multiply. That's wrong. Understood? Right? Yeah. Then here, when you multiply the right hand side, when you multiply this right hand side, people, I am going to multiply only this term by minus sign. Then that minus sign I must write before this. It is 2 sine c plus d by 2. And now that minus sign I write here, minus sine c minus d divided by 2. Now, we learned, people, something like this. Can remember that. Today we learned sine minus theta is equal to what, people? Minus sine theta. That means this minus sign we can take out, no? That's what this says, no? People, what is the converse use? Minus එක ඇතුළත තිබුණොත් එළියට ගන්න පුළුවන් කියන එකයි මේ කියන්නේ. එහෙනම් ඔකේ රිවර්ස් යූස් එක මොකද්ද? එළිය තිබුණොත් ඇතුළට දාන්න පුළුවන් මේ. ඒක නේද? ඇතුළට තිබුණොත් එළියට දාන්න පුළුවන්. එළිය තිබුණොත් ඇතුළට දාන්න පුළුවන්. If it is available in, you can take it out. If it is out, you can put in. Then, people, here also this minus sign is outside. That can be put inside the bracket. Once you bring this minus sign inside the bracket, people, by that minus sign, both this c and this d, you have to multiply. When you multiply that c by minus sign, that will be minus c. When you multiply that minus d by minus sign, people, minus minus plus d come in. Then that c minus d will be changed to what? D minus c. Understood? Okay. All right. So then we get that one now like this. It is now, people, cos c minus cos d is equal to 2 sine c plus d by 2 into sine, people. This now order will interchange d minus e by 2. People, very careful, remember this is our formula number what, people? 14. In this 11, 12, 13, in those formulae, people, we had first angle as c plus d by 2, second angle on the right hand side as c minus d by 2. But in this 14 only, people, first angle is c plus d by 2, second angle is not c minus d by 2, it is d minus e by 2. Here d minus e by 2. Remember, this is a little bit important one, right? Cos c minus cos d formula, only the right hand side second angle going to be d minus c divided by 2. Understood? Okay, people. Right. Okay. Now 14 formula now over. Okay. See here, up to now, this all 14 formulae we derived only using that very first 2 formulae we took by that diagram. See, to one and the other one, each one, people, like a chain, So that is the beauty of this maths. Understood? So it's like a chain, people, right? Nothing coming from externally as a what guest. Understand? So everything available. So once you miss something, someplace, people, one link, what happens? So then you can't link with the previous one. So therefore, it's very important to keep this everything in your memory, right? Okay, 14 formulae now over, right? Another 14 more, people. We'll take another 6 more today, people. And next week we come to the end of this formulae in the first hour, and then we come to the come back to the tutorial to do some questions, and another more theories available, and we'll discuss them because this lesson is full of theories, people, right? So the lesson is again very important one for all the AL combined maths lessons. Okay, all right. Okay, 14 over now. 14 formulae over now, people. Okay, now people, next one we take what? 2a formulae. Write down next heading as 2a formulae. 2a formulae. Two-A formulae. Right, to take this 2a formula, people, the first 2a formula, number 15, is this. In number 1, for this capital B, we put what? Capital A. In formula number 1, as of angle B, we put capital A. Formula number 1 එකේ capital B ට දාන්න capital A කියලා. හරි. Put B equals A in number 1. What do you get? Sin A plus A. Equals. Here, put for this B, what? People, capital A. Then what do you get? Sin A into cos A plus cos A into sin A. Cos A into sin A. Right. Here A and A, people, what? 2A, sin 2A. Here this sin A cos A, you can interchange the order. Then this is sin A cos A plus sin A cos A. If you take, people, the sin A cos A as x plus another x we have there. X plus x is 2x, no, people. Then what is this? 2x we call for the sin A cos A. No, this is therefore 2 sin A cos A. 2 sin A cos A. This is number 15. Okay, people. This is the formula number 15. Sin 2A formula. Right? In the sin 2A formula, people, when we use this sin 2A formula, I'll explain to remember the use of this sin 2A formula like this. People, now for this angle, suppose we have sin 50. This 2A is now 50. Then how to write this? Write this 2. And write sin and cos. Divide this angle by 2. Write that with the sin and cos. This is how we use this formula number 15, sin 2A. Understood? හරිද ළමයි? මේ sin 2A formula එක පාවිච්චි කරන විදිහ sin angle එකක් තියෙනවා. එන්න ඒක ලියන්න පුළුවන් කොහොමද? 2 ලියනවා sin cos ලියන ළමයි මේ angle එක දෙකෙන් බෙදලා ලැබෙන angle දෙක ලියනවා මෙතෙන්ට. ඒක තමයි අපි ඔය විදිහට sin 2A use කරන විදිහ. මේව හරි වැදගත් ඉස්සරහට. ඔයාලට තේරෙයි ගණන් හදනකොට. That is number 15. Formula number 15. Okay. Now to get the formula number 16, people, what we do is in number 2 we put B equals A. In number 2 we put B equals A. Right. Now write down like this. Put B equals A in number 2. B equals A in number 2. Then what do you get? B and this P is now A plus A, 2A, cos 2A. Cos 2A. Right. What do you get there? Here. This is A now. Cos A, cos A. Cos A, cos A. Minus sin A, sin A. Sin A, sin A. People, cos A, cos A, cos squared A. Minus sin squared A. Then this is the cos 2A. People, for this cos 2A, another 2 more formulae we have. Then for this cos 2A, there are 3 formulae. All these 3 formulae, people, we should know. Let's see how to take the next 2. Next 2 are obtained like this, people. Right? The next two we obtain like this. All right, I think you can remember. We wrote sine squared theta as how? 1 minus cos squared theta. Like that, this sine squared A you can write as 1 minus cos squared A. Right, 1 minus cos squared A. Right? And now people here remove the bracket. Minus 1. Minus plus. Then what do you get here? Cos squared A minus 1 and plus cos squared A. Cos squared A minus 1 plus cos squared A. There are two places we are having cos squared A, and here cos squared A. Cos squared A is people what? 2 cos squared A. It's like x squared plus x squared, no? What is x squared plus x squared? 2x squared, no? Like that, cos squared A plus cos squared A, 2 cos squared A minus 1. This is 2 cos squared A minus 1. This is people another formula for cos 2A. This is first one. This is the second formula for cos 2A. People, another one more we have, that is obtained how? Write in here this cos squared A. People tell me how to write cos squared A. It's 1 minus sine squared A. So therefore, we get cos 2A as what, people? This is 1 minus sine squared A minus sine squared A equals 1. People, minus sine squared A minus sine squared A. What, people? It's like minus x squared minus x squared. People, what is minus x squared minus x squared? Minus x squared minus x squared is what? Minus x squared 2x squared. I like that. 1 minus sine squared A minus sine squared A, 1 minus 2 sine squared A. This is the third form for this cos 2A formula. Therefore, people remember, for cos 2A, there are three formulae: cos squared A minus sine squared A, 2 cos squared A minus 1, 1 minus 2 sine squared A. Therefore, that all three together we take as the formula number 16. Write down these three and again write down them together as cos 2A, three formulae, naming that as the formula number 16. Understood? Right. Formula number 16. Then we can write cos 2A, cos 2A, cos 2A. Cos squared A minus sine squared A. Next one. 2 cos squared A minus 1. Next one. 1 minus 2 sine squared A. This is people number 16. Number 16. Right. Number 16 is that. Right. Okay, people, now next one. Number 17. To take the number 17 formula, people, in this number 5, we substitute for this B, capital A. Then we get the formula tan 2A formula. Tan 2A formula. All right, take that now, people. Put B equals A in number 5. Right. P equals A in number 5. So then what do you get, people? Tan A plus A. equals tan A plus B also now we know 1 minus divided by 1 minus tan A into again tan A. Right, people? Now A and A, 2A, then tan 2A we get. Tan 2A equals tan A plus tan A is 2 tan A divided by 1 minus tan A multiplied by tan A. What people? Tan A multiplied by tan A means tan squared D. And this is number 17. Formula number 17 now we obtain, people. Okay, right. Right, people, then another 11 more. Another 11 formula more we have to take. The next formula, people, sin 3a, cos 3a, tan 3a. I'll take them next week, people. Within the first half an hour, I think we can finish this, obtaining all the formulae. And then we come back to the questions in the tutorial. And some more theories also, I suppose, discuss in the next class. Okay. Right. So then, people, today we come to the end of the lesson. Right. And some of the students today absent because of the thundering and heavy rain throughout the island, maybe the reason. So then, people, you can get the recording, but a little amendment is done in getting the recording. What is that? So freely you could watch the recording, because I put the link to the group to watch everybody freely. But people, here in after, if you need to watch the recording, you have to send me your email address. After getting that, I register you so that you can watch the recording. It is known as the activate your Zoom account. So once you take your email address, people, I add you as a user. Soon after adding that, you will receive an email message, people, activate your Zoom account with particular link. Once you click that link, people, there's something to fill them and send it back. Then I receive that. Then what I do is, second occasion, I'll put the link of the recording to your WhatsApp group. Again, click that link available in it. There also something to fill that and send it back. Then, people, I'll get your request. Then I can approve. Soon after I approve, you get another email message saying that you can watch the recording. So therefore, people, that's the process. හරිද ළමයි? ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් recording එක වෙනදා වගේ freely බලන්න බැරි වෙනවා. මම ඒක schedule කරන්න යන්නේ. register කරන්න යන්නේ. ඒ නිසා මට ඕනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ email address එක. ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ email address එක මට එවන්න. මම ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ email address එක user කෙනෙක් විදිහට register කරනවා. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට message එකක් එනවා. email ඒ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දුන්න email address එකටම message එකක් එනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ email එක activate කරන්න කියලා. email එක නෙවෙයි ළමයි. Zoom account එක activate කරන්න කියලා message එකක් එනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ message එක ආවම මේකේ තියෙන link එකක්, ඒක click කරලා ඒකේ තියෙන පොඩි questions කීපයක් fill කරන්න. ඒක fill කරලා මට එවන්න ආයේ. ඊට පස්සේ මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එවනවා මොකද්ද? අර recording එක link එක ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ WhatsApp group එකට හරි ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ WhatsApp number එකට හරි. ඒකේ link එක ආයේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ click කරපුවාම පොඩි form එකක් ආයේ fill කරන්න දෙනවා. ඒකත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ fill කරලා අපව එවන්න. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට email ඔයගොල්ලෝ දුන්න email address එකට email message එකක් එයි. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට recording එක බලන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. ඒ process එක තමයි ළමයි දැන් තියෙන්නේ. මොකද නැත්තම් ළමයි ගොඩක් කට්ටිය පන්ති තියෙන වෙලාවට පන්ති වලට එන්නේ නැහැ. හැමදාම ලයිට් නැතුව ඉන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි නේද? ඒ නිසා එහෙම කම්මැලි වෙලා ඉගෙන ගන්න බෑ අපිට. අනිත් එක පන්තියට සහභාගී වෙන්නේ නැති ළමයිත් ඉන්නවා. අපේ ක්ලාස් රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් ළමයි හැමතැනම යන්න ගන්නවා මේක ෆ්‍රීලි දුන්නාම. ඉතින් අපි ෆ්‍රීලි දුන්න මාසයක් දෙකක්. අපි කලින් ගෲප් එකට තමයි මාස 6ක් ෆ්‍රීලි දුන්නා. නමුත් ඒවා ඉතින් මිස්යූස් කරලා තියෙන ගොඩක් ළමයි. එහෙම වෙන්න හැමදාම ඉඩ අරින්න බෑ. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ පුළුවන් තරම් පන්තිට එන්න බලන්න. අපිට ෆිසිකල් ක්ලාසස් පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා අපි හිතාගෙන ඉන්නවා නොවැම්බර් 16 වලින් පස්සේ. නමුත් ළමයි අපි හිතනවා ඒත් එක්කම ආයෙත් මේ පැන්ඩමික් එක පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි හිතන්නේ අපිට 16 වලින් පස්සේ ආය හැමදාටම කරන්න යන්න පුළුවන් විදිහේ සිටුේෂන් එකක් එයි කියලා. ආයෙසරයක් අපිට ඔන්ලයින් වලට එන්න වෙයි ටික දවසක් ගියාට පස්සේ. ඒ නිසා අපි ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් එක දැනට ඉමු. ෆිසිකල් ක්ලාසස් පටන් ගත්තොත් ෆිසිකල් ක්ලාසස් වලට අපි එමු. කොහොම වුණත් ළමයි අපි ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාසස් 23 බැච් එකේ ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් එක එක්සෑම් එකට එනකල්ම දිගටම තියෙනවා. හරි. එතකොට අපි ෆිසිකල් ක්ලාසස් පටන් ගත්ත කියලා ඔන්ලයින් නතර කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඔන්ලයින් එකේ ඉන්න පුළුවන් අය දිගටම ඔන්ලයින් ඉන්න. ෆිසිකල් එකට එන්න ඕන අය ෆිසිකල් එකට එන්න. ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් එක අපි දිගටම කරනවා එක්සෑම් එකට යනකල්ම. ඉතින් අපි 22 21 අයියලා කළා ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ඇතරම අවුරුදු දෙකක් විතර දැන් කෙලින්ම ඔන්ලයින් ඉන්නේ. නේද? අපිට මේ සිද්ධිය උනේ බලන්නකෝ 2000 ගිය අවුරුද්දේ නේද? අපි 2020 වල මාර්ච් වලනේ උනේ. දැන් 21 මාර්ච් ඉවරයි. 22 මාර්ච් වෙනත් ළඟයි. ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලෝගේ එක්සෑම්ස් තියෙන්නේ 22 February 7. So 20 මාර්ච් 20 මාර්ච් වල වුණා මේ පැන්ඩමික් සිටුේෂන් එක. දැන් 22 February ඒගොල්ලෝ එක්සෑම්ස් යන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ nearly 23 months they learned in online. So therefore it's a very obvious thing that everybody can do their A-level examinations by just studying through online. නේද ළමයි? ඒකෙන් කියන්නේ A-level exams කරන්න පුළුවන් ළමයි online වලින් ඉන්ටරැක්ට් කරලා. ඒක හොඳ දෙයක් අපිට. මොකද ගොඩාක් අය තියෙන ළමයින්ට උනත් සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන් අපේ ක්ලාසස් වලට. මහන්සියක් නැහැ කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් ෆිසිකල් ක්ලාසස් වල විශේෂ පොඩි වෙනසක් තියෙනවා. අපිට කම්මැලි ගතියක් නැහැ. අලුත් යාළුවෝ හම්බ වෙනවා. යාළුවොත් එක්ක ෂෙයා වුණාම අපිට පොඩි මහන්සි ගතියක් අඩුවක් දැනෙනවා. එතකොට තව ඉතින් ඔය කියන්න බැරි දේවල් පවා ඉතින් වෙනවන්නේ ඊපස්සේ. ඒ නිසා ඒවට ළමයි ගොඩක් කැමතියි. ඒකත් ඉතින් අඩු වැඩි වශයෙන් තිබිය යුතුයි. නමුත් වෙලාවෙ හැටියට ඔන්ලයින් තිබිච්ච එකත් අපිට ලොකු දෙයක්. ඒ නිසා ඔන්ලයින් අතහැරලා ෆිසිකල් යන්න හිතන්න යන්න එපා ළමයි. අපිට ඉදිරියේදී ඔන්ලයින් වලට ආයෙ එන්න වෙනවා. අපි ෆිසිකල් පන්ති පටන් ගත්තත් once a month මාසෙකට එක වතාවක් අපි ඔන්ලයින් එක්ස්ට්‍රා ක්ලාස් එකක් දාලා කරනවා. එහෙම කරන්නේ වැඩිපුර වැඩ කරන්න. හරි. ඒ නිසා ඔන්ලයින් අතරින්ද බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න යන්න එපා. සහ හරියටම ෆිසිකල් ක්ලාසස් පටන් අරගෙන හොඳට පන්ති ටික කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනකල් ඔන්ලයින් නතර කරලා ෆිසිකල් වලට විතරක් එනවා කියලා ඔන්ලයින් එන්නේ නැතුව ඉන්න යන්න එපා. ෆිසිකල් පටන් අරන් කරගෙන යනකල් ඔන්ලයින් එකේ එන්න ළමයි. මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝගේ එක්සෑම්ස් කල් යන්නේ 23 එක්සෑම් එක හරියටම 23 ඕගස්ට් වල තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඕගොල්ලන්ට කිසිම ෆැසිලිටි එකක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ, අලුතෙන් වාසියක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ පැන්ඩමික් එකකින්. ඒ නිසා ඕගොල්ලන්ට සිලබස් එක කවර් කරගන්න බැරි වෙනවා අපි ක්ලාසස් මිස් වුණොත්. දිගටම ක්ලාස් එකට එන්න ළමයි. මගේ ක්ලාස් එක දිගටම ආවෙ නැත්නම් ඕගොල්ලෝ තේරෙන්නේ නැති වෙනවා. හරි. හැමදාම පන්තිරේ ඉන්න වැඩ කරන්න ගොඩ යන්න පුළුවන් අපිට. Right, so then people, we come to the end of the lesson here. We meet next day.